Welcome back, guys. It's Nick with Two Brothers Comics. Today, we're going to be doing something that I've seen on the internet. It's all over the place, and I'm running out of content ideas. So here we go. We're going to be making the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies and TV shows tier list. This is my first time doing one of these, so I'm going to tackle what I know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. These are the reasons why I collect comic books. These are something that I hold so near and dear to my heart. I love the MCU, specifically Phase 1, just fantastic. What we're going to do the tier list. It starts with S, goes to E. S stands for like superb, so it's like just a masterclass of a movie, and we're going to be doing these in order of release. I don't think all of the TV shows are on this list. We're going to go through it. Now let's start off with Iron Man. Iron Man number 1, directed by Jon Favreau. Literally the entire reason why I am into comic books. I saw that first movie back in 2008, and it just completely consumed me. I thought it was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I am Iron Man.
And it meant so much. And not only that, it was a freaking fabulous movie. If it wasn't that great, then, well, you probably wouldn't be getting the rest of the MCU. So for that reason alone, Iron Man's going into the S tier. It's superb. It's perfect. It is what was so sought after in a comic book movie for so long. And then boom, we get it. It's great. Next up, we're going to go with the Incredible Hulk, the one with Edward Norton. Quite frankly, I don't remember much about it. I think I've watched it probably upon release date, and that was it since. I think Edward Norton is a wildly annoying human being, and I'm thankful they recasted him. But we're going to go ahead and drop that down in the D tier. It's not the worst movie ever, but it certainly was not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination. And then Iron Man 2.
Sir! I'm going to have to ask you to exit the donut.
Now we're getting into 2010. So you have 2008 Iron Man and Incredible Hulk. Things go very well. And then Iron Man 2 comes out a couple of years later. Iron Man 2 was good. We got a lot of great introduction characters. Black Widow coming in. You really started to see the growth, right? The expansion of the MCU. I didn't really care for Whiplash, though. I thought the villain was kind of silly there. The backstory, it was a little much, but it wasn't the worst of the Iron Man movies, in my opinion. So for that, I think maybe we should drop that. What do you guys think? Maybe Iron Man 2, maybe drop it down to the C tier. And then we move over to the bleached out eyebrow Thor.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
With the long hair, it was, again, very good movie, I thought. Decent origin, wasn't the best out of all the origin story movies we've gotten, but it was cool, it was interesting. I just still to this day can't get over why they thought it was such a good idea to bleach his eyebrows. I'm so happy that they kind of have it the way it is now, more natural looking, but was it that good? Was it that good? It's going to go in the C tier. It wasn't that great. The origin was okay. It's not a movie I go back and rewatch a lot. And that's another reason why I'm doing this, because I've been rewatching a lot of MCU movies. Fantastic. And that brings me to the next one, Captain America, the First Avengers. I remember sitting in the movie theater watching this with my wife. She was not my wife at the time, but she was my girlfriend, and she thought it was boring. And I'm like, look, it's a period film. They took a historical wartime film and turned it into a hero's origin, a comic book origin story.
Now, Mr. Stark.
Nay, well, personally, escort Adolf Hitler to the gates of hell.
Which was really neat and something I think they thought was a big risk at the time based on some interviews. So for that, it's gonna go in the B tier. Not the greatest, not the worst. It was a decent origin, but just not top level. Next, so we've gotten Captain America, we've gotten Iron Man, we have the Hulk, we have Thor. Now we're getting the Avengers finally. And I still remember that moment of them kind of assembling in New York, and I thought Loki at this point was a really good villain, and the character development there was really cool. And from a cinematic type standpoint, the videography or the cinematography was fantastic. The imagery, everything about it just made you feel so good, and just seeing them in New York standing there dun, dun, dun. Love it. There's no doubt about it. It's going in the A tier. Absolutely. Bar none. The meetings of all the Avengers together for the first time. It shows it made over like $1.5 billion. Just what a great movie. It's going in the A. It's not superb, but it's going in the A. So the next two movies, these are kind of where I was like, man, what are you guys doing? Iron Man 3, when it first came out, I watched it once, thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, you guys are just totally taking a big downturn here, Marvel. What is going on? The Mandarin sucked. The twist was stupid. Yeah, I just didn't really like it. But then I went back literally just 2 weeks ago now, rewatched it for the first time probably since I saw it the original time. And I appreciate it so much more, okay? Because it deals with a lot of things that, well, now I'm seeing almost 10 years later that you deal with. The anxiety, the stress, all of the weight of having somebody you love to protect and, having a child now and dealing with those anxieties and those feelings and, feeling like you have to protect everything and stop everything and be there for everybody and everything in your family. And then all of a sudden you become very vulnerable. And for that reason, it is a better film than I thought. I don't like the Extremis storyline, the way it was adopted. It was kind of silly, quite frankly. It wasn't done well, and I'm told the comic books do it so much better, and I'm going to read that probably in the next week or two once I'm done with another run that we're going to talk about here in a minute. So for that reason, right, Iron Man 3, to be honest with you, I would have put it E. I would have put it E had I not just rewatched it. But the emotions, the connections, things like that, it's not as bad as I thought. So we're going to go drop it in the C, right? There's not going to be a lot below C, I think, in the MCU. And that's just, I think, the way it's going to be. Now, Thor: The Dark World, I may have spoken too soon. What do I need to say about that? Well, quite frankly, it was boo-boo. Yep. Was not great. So that's going in the E. Sorry, it was garbage. I didn't like anything about it. I've not watched it again since the first time I saw it. And I'm totally thankful they did a big redirection with that character because it was getting weird. And Natalie Portman, I just don't like her in Thor. Like, I don't like that character, the way she does it. I wish she would go back and just I don't know, she was cool in Star Wars, not digging her in MCU, is what it is. Now the next one, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I'm reading the run right now by Ed Brubaker. And Marvel should be so incredibly, wildly thankful for Ed Brubaker, and they should give him more money for this than the $5,000 bonus or whatever they gave for him. This movie, so good. I mean, it's made $750,000. The Winter Soldier, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just really good. But after reading the comic series and then seeing The Winter Soldier, they could have done so much more had they had all of the characters. And that's one thing in comic books, man. I wish they just had access to all the characters because the Winter Soldier, it was so cool. And then it led into Civil War, which it kind of did in the movies here too. But just such an awesome movie. And for that, I don't know. I'm thinking it might go A. Winter Soldier was pretty dang good. So we're going to go ahead and drop it up there in A. I think it was A-worthy. What do you guys think? The next one, Guardians of the Galaxy. When this was released, everybody thought it was stupid. Everybody thought this was going to be silly, and it turned out to be just beautiful. What a beautiful film. The soundtrack was great. I have the record or the LP for it back here. Wonderful, wonderful movie. The characters. Chris Pratt is an amazing actor. I love almost everything he does. And to see, the guy from Parks and Recs doing all the great things he's doing now is just fantastic. So, because of the originality and it was unlike anything else we expected, we're going to drop that in A, okay? I know a lot of people may not like that, but man, I've watched that movie so many times. So it's going to go in the A tier. Next one, Avengers Age of Ultron. I remember sitting in Minnesota with my boss at the time at the big movie theater at the Mall of America there. Oh, so good. Let me rephrase. It's good. I don't like what they did with some of the characters because of the restrictions they had, at the time, not owning Fox. And I think Wanda Maximoff coming in was such an awesome moment into the MCU. But it's not as memorable as some of these other movies are, right? But Age of Ultron, and I don't think Ultron was really used to its full potential, but it was still good, okay? But not A-worthy. I think it's still B. I think we're sitting in the B category for this one. It's kind of like Captain America's origin story. It was okay. I remember a lot about it. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like I'm gonna go watch it every single time. Like if I'm bored, I'm not gonna go put this one on out of the rest of them. Now the next one, Ant-Man. I'm gonna get judged for this one. Ant-Man is C at best. Paul Rudd's okay. I find him mildly funny. It just wasn't that great to me, and it is what it is. You guys may love it. I thought it was at best okay. So we'll move on from that one pretty quickly. Captain America: Civil War. This is one that, man, they had way more potential to do way more on. I think they focused just on Captain America and Iron Man feud. I think they could have done so much more, quite frankly, with it. In the comic books, it was brutal. It was based on this registration system for heroes, and Captain America didn't believe they should be registered. Iron Man thought they should, and, obviously you got to be on Captain America's team. Why in the world would you want to go register, be a part of a registration, And I'm telling you, like, to the point of death. Like, people were dying in this book. I'm not going to say who, but people were dying. And, yeah, still a good movie, though. I just wish they could have done more. They had the Fantastic Four in the comic. They had, just all kinds of stuff that was really cool about that. It's only 7 issues or so, I think, if you want to go read it. And it also ties into a lot of stuff going on. But the Ed Brubaker Captain America run that kind of stems from Winter Soldier kind of, runs into that. So it was pretty cool. But, it was good. There was a few good moments. But it's not an A tier. I still think it's more of a B tier. You know what I mean? So, good movie, it was okay. Doctor Strange, this is one of the only ones I've not seen in theaters. Up until this point, I've seen them all in theaters. Doctor Strange was announced. I literally was like, whatever. I think I actually watched it the first time on my cell phone. And I've watched it 2 times since. One time very recently, and I was like, man, this movie is so much better than I gave it credit for. The origin, the character development, all of it was way better. The visuals in the film was really, really good, but I don't think it was as good as some of these other ones. So for that, I'm going to drop it in the B tier. Doctor Strange was good. Visuals were great. I don't really like the way that the Ancient One was done. That was strange, but it was still a really, really solid film, all things considered. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think they took all of the good things they did with Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and turned it up to 50, and I think it was a little too much. Ego was strange. I didn't like that. It was still a good film, but just one of those sequels, I think, that just was not anywhere near the original. So for that, I'm going to probably drop it in the C category here. I don't know. I'm going to get judged, but you make your own list. You know what I mean? All right. Let's keep going. Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh, man, I remember Sony, working with Marvel, announcing a Spider-Man film. Tom Holland coming in. That was really good. I think he's a solid Peter Parker. I know a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people love him. I'm content with him. I really am. The film itself, the trilogy as a whole, right? We haven't seen the final one. But the first 2 have been okay. The first one was fine. Wasn't great. I don't like I like Peter Parker. The rest of the cast, I'm not really a huge fan of. And, for that reason, I'm going to drop it probably pretty low. Because it was okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't great. They've not been great. They've been fine. They've just been not great. But I do love the title Homecoming because it is kind of like a homecoming for Peter Parker. But we're going to drop it in the D. Peter Parker gets the D. So Thor Ragnarok. I love Thor Ragnarok. I've seen this movie so many times. My wife has seen this movie so many times.
Piss off, Ghost!
He's freaking gone.
Once it came out on streaming and stuff like that on Disney Plus, I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting in bed bored or reading comics, and this is my go-to movie, right? It is hilarious. It's well written. I love Valkyrie. I love Thor. I love the way Hulk was done. I wish they could have done more with the whole Planet Hulk storyline, but this is such a great film, and for me, it is superb. It is absolutely superb. It's probably the one movie I've watched more than any other of these films because of how freaking good it is. So, Thor Ragnarok, you guys may think that's dumb, especially since I have Spider-Man sitting down here at D, but whatever. It's my list. Black Panther's the next one in order of release. This one was fantastic. My biggest complaint is they did not give Killmonger enough screen time. He should have, like, Killmonger should be the star. You know what I mean? He was great. Michael B. Jordan's a fantastic actor. Without a doubt, that's going in the A category. I wish we could get more of what this film has, and I just, we're probably not going to get it for obvious reasons, but man, it was such a good story. Good origin story. Obviously, it spun out of a lot of other things, but really, really good. The next one, Avengers Infinity War. Oh, that's a heartbreaker, man. I remember sitting in the theaters. I had an idea of kind of where we were going to go with things. There had been rumors about, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., he's getting ready to go. He's done with this. And this was kind of going to be his moment of exit. And from the beginning to the end of that film, there was nothing short of just borderline perfect theater, right? Infinity War, just, what a beautiful movie. What a beautiful movie. Just the penultimate of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I loved it. Moving on, Ant-Man and the Wasp. What do you guys want me to say? I thought it was stupid. E. There we go. I just don't like that character. Captain Marvel. Okay, so Captain Marvel, not really specifically a fan of the movie. The biggest, most positive thing I could say is the visuals were good. It made me excited for if we ever got like a live-action Dragon Ball Z movie that actually made sense in the real world, that maybe they could do a Super Saiyan based on her, her powers and the way they did it here. But it wasn't good. It really wasn't. And D at best. That's like D at best. And I know if I put it at E, I'm just going to get a bunch of comments down below. So I'm just going to put it at D just so it's not the worst movie. It sucks. Next one, The Avengers Endgame. Only Marvel movie to ever make me cry. I had, I was going to be a dad soon when this movie came out. I was just a few months shy of being a father. My first father experience, right? First time being a parent. And the line at the end of the movie is, I'll get you, your dad loved hamburgers, I'll get you a hamburger. And that whole scene between Happy and Tony Stark's kid after he died. Literally, what a sad just experience.
Cheeseburgers?
Your dad liked cheeseburgers.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you all the cheeseburgers you want.
And it was a fantastic movie. I Am Iron Man, Snap, everything a Marvel cinematic fan wanted. Just perfect. I absolutely love it. I mean, seriously, beautiful film. Cinematography, all of that, just so good. Next one, Spider-Man 2, Far From Home. Well, I would say this one is mildly better than the first one. It still just wasn't that great to me. The cast of characters. I do like the role Happy played in this one a lot more. But I'm sorry to say, it's still just kind of like, I watched it once for the storyline, but it's just not that great. But we are talking about like Marvel. Like I'm comparing these to other Marvel movies, right? I mean, it's better than a lot of things. It's better than the entire new Star Wars trilogy. You know what I mean? So it has that going for it. We have like one or two more movies, and then I'll do a couple of the shows that we have down here. Black Widow. Black Widow overall was really great. It would have been really good had it come right before Civil War, I think is where it kind of plugs in. Right after Civil War, during Civil War. Yeah, right around in there. The stakes, there was no stakes. You knew she was going to make it out because she has to die later on. And then the Taskmaster thing. Like just that whole thing with Taskmaster, and you had such an opportunity with such a cool villain, and then it just made zero sense. I mean, it was silly. It really was silly. So, we're going to put Black Widow like solid C. Enjoyed the movie. If you overlook some of the stupid decisions, it was okay. You know what I mean? I watched it twice just to watch it for the first time. It's like, okay, it's cool. Watch it for the second time. Make sure I'm not just being an a-hole about it. But yeah, And to be fair, it did have a lot of steam kind of out of its wind with all the COVID delays and stuff like that. But the next one, Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi was one that I honestly expected to go in kind of indifferent about. I thought it was going to be cool, but maybe I like it, maybe I didn't. But I will tell you, I enjoyed the heck out of this film. Really, really did. We watched it in theater, Lexington Comic-Con, massive theater with Justin and Dustin, and I enjoyed it then. Disney Plus Day, it came out, and I immediately turned it on, watched it, enjoyed it. I've watched it twice since then, just kind of casually watching it, and it still holds up. The visuals are good. The CGI is solid. Somebody over there at DC should like call up whoever did this and be like, hey, can you help us fix our Wonder Woman 84 movie because it sucked visually. Also, the story was kind of bad, but like so good for what they did. I mean, it looked great. So Shang-Chi is going to go solid B, because it was a good origin story, you know, but like it's not one that I'm going to look back and go, this was a pivotal moment of, or this is one that, you know, I love more than anything else. And I don't think it was as good as Black Panther or Guardians or the original Avengers or Winter Soldier. So I see I made a mistake. I put Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Look, it's like this big on my screen. Into A, where the Captain America Winter Soldier movie should go. It's on me. I just saw Winter Soldier and dropped it up there. I've not seen Eternals yet. After seeing just how bad the reviews were, I'll wait for it to come out on Disney Plus probably. It just doesn't really interest me. So who knows? Phase 4 just hasn't really been stacking up the way I kind of wanted it to, right? I don't know. Maybe you guys are being kind of let down. Shang-Chi's been good, but we'll see. Now, let's talk about a couple of the TV shows down here. Agent Carter. I watched one episode, never really watched it again. So, I mean, I guess technically for me that might be an E, because it was like not that great, enough to keep me going. And I don't think it has anything to do with the style of the show. I think it was just the style, the era, that just didn't really interest me, and I think that's why you never really hear anybody talk about it. Loki, solid B. Honestly, really good show. There's a lot of twists and turns I didn't expect, which is, you know, makes sense. It's Loki. And I do love the Loki character here in the MCU, so I think it's good. WandaVision. WandaVision. That one I thought sucked at first. And then I gave it a chance. I watched it all the way through, and it turned out to be much better. I wish they would have went with the original plan of bringing in Doctor Strange. I thought that would have been really cool. I honestly didn't think Agatha was that great of a character, and now she's getting her own show, so what do I know? I've always been a huge fan of her portrayal of Wanda Maximoff, and now we're actually getting the real Scarlet Witch portrayal, so I'm excited to see where it goes. B. We'll go B. We'll go B. Maybe I'm being too nice. And then What If? Animation was great. I did enjoy the storylines quite a bit. But was it like the greatest animated show I've ever seen? No. We're going to drop it down to a D. Storyline was good. Visuals were great. But it still wasn't like, I'm never going to rewatch it. You know what I mean? Captain America, Winter Soldier. Overall, it was fine. I don't really think it did a whole lot to push like the MCU narrative along or the story along. Like, yes, I get it. We did get to see him in the kind of the Captain America get up for the first time, and I thought that was cool. I thought their relationship was cool, but like the villain and stuff was like just super lame, and I don't know. I just didn't like the whole style of the show. After kind of thinking about it, I'll never rewatch it again. I don't think most people will. And apparently, he's still going to be doing a lot of the stuff in his own Captain America, which I'm excited. I think Sam Wilson's a fantastic character, and I think he's going to be great as Captain America. But the show itself was, it was okay. So we're going to put it next to What If. And again, I haven't watched Eternals. But here's my list, guys. So we have superb Iron Man, Thor Ragnarok, both Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War. I think those are pretty solid. For A, Avengers, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Black Panther. Yeah, I think those are pretty solid. Then B, Captain America Origin, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, Loki, and WandaVision. I don't think I would change anything there. Yeah, I don't think I would actually change anything there for right now. I think that's pretty solid. We get Iron Man 2, Thor, Iron Man 3, Ant-Man, Guardians 2, and Black Widow. D, Hulk, all the Spider-Man, Captain Marvel. Look, let's just now. Internet people get mad at me. What If and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then like the worst of the worst, Thor, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Agent Carter. There you have it. I don't know. Not a big fan of. Look, you know what? If I'm going to change it, boom. Let's drop Ant-Man down to D. It just wasn't that good. It just wasn't compared to the others. And maybe we'll drop one Spider-Man up to C because it was okay. Like now that I'm thinking about it, it was okay. We got to see some aftermath in New York. Maybe. All right, guys. So let me know what you think about the tier list. Is this something you guys like in terms of video-wise? It's all over the internet. So I thought I'd give my shot at it. But guys, you're the best part of Two Comics. Let me know about this list. Do you like it? Do you not? Do you agree with these picks? It's your call. That's where the comment section is for.